This morning the sun is high in the sky when Joe and I finally get to go outside for some exploring time. When we get to the barn, it is empty except for the cat and the kittens. I like to lie in the sun in the hay on the floor. It is soft, smells good, and if I stretch way out on my side, I usually end up taking a good nap when Joe sits down in the hay to hold the kittens. Today is not going to be a nap day because Joe is walking towards the cow and little cow that are under the old tree that has apples on it in the fall. I go with him and lie near in case the little cow gets mean and tries to hurt Joe. The big cow stands nearby under the old tree. She doesn't have very good manners because every once in a while she burps and then starts to chew again. I think it is pretty rude, so I try not to watch. I do like the big ears it has though. They are so interesting to watch. They are black like mine and hang from the side of its head. The cow can wiggle them whenever it wants, but when I tried to copy it, my ears just won't move. I can get them to kind of stand up, but that is only where they attach to my head. The ends of my ears come to a point by my eyes, and if I shake my head, I can get them to flap. It is helpful to know this because it is a good way to chase mosquitoes and flies when they really bother my head. If I watch my ears out of the sides of my eyes, I can see them flap when I run, but I have to make sure there is nothing in front of me. I will trip over it. Because I watch my ears, I don't watch where I'm running. I tried running and watching my ears one time when I was with my family, and I tripped over a rock. I slid to a stop next to a big thistle patch. Those things are awful when you fall in them, but if you run through them, they don't hurt. After a little while, Joe walked away, and I got up to follow him. My head kind of hurts because I think I may have done too much thinking while I was waiting for him. We head towards where the skinny trees are growing, and I start to get excited. I know rabbits live down here. I've trailed them many times. Sometimes I can sneak up and actually get close to see the whiskers by their noses. Most of the times they run before I can get anywhere near them. I tried to chase them when we first moved to the country, not to catch and hurt it, but to see who ran faster. I sure couldn't run as fast as the rabbit did, so now I just practice my stealth mode on them and see how close I can sneak up to them before they run away. As I ran ahead of him to make sure the area is safe, I came upon the scent of the cat. I recognize her scent. There's also a slight smell of mouse under her scent, so I know she is hunting food for her babies. Crossing her trail, I discover a new smell. It was a cold trail and crossed under the fresher cat smell, so it went through sometime last night. I haven't smelt that before, so I stopped to smell the ground and then the bushes and trees nearby to see how high off the ground the scent is. It is taller than I am because the scent is higher up on a tree than I stand. It also has a dog smell. I decide to trail it more to see if I can figure this out. The scent gets stronger as we go away from Joe, so I'm beginning to feel better. It is heading away from him. If it was headed towards him in the little trees, it would be stronger because it would have passed this way instead of going the opposite direction. It is getting stronger as we go away from him, so that is telling me it is not headed for my human or our home. I suddenly realize I've actually gotten quite a long distance from Joe and am much near the big road by the house. I turn to go back in his direction when I hear him call me. "Come on, Molly, let's go back. I think it's almost time for Dad to come home, and I want to sit with Mom at the picnic table while we wait for him." We both run, but I run faster and got back to Mom before Joe, so I stand and watch him to make sure he gets here safely. As I raced with Joe to get back to Mom, I practiced watching my ears wave in the wind I was making as I ran. I was going pretty fast, so they sort of stuck straight out from my head. I'm getting pretty good at being able to see my ears and the area I'm running through at the same time. I wonder if any other dog can do this. "Mom, Dad is coming just up over the top of the hill. Watch, and you'll see him turn in the driveway." Joe was panting as he stopped running beside Mom. "I don't know how you can tell which vehicle is his truck. It surprises me every time you tell me he is coming, and just about every time you are right." Mom stands up as she says this to watch the end of the driveway. I stand with my family and watch the end of the driveway to see if Joe was right. Sure enough, Dad is turning in. I'm pretty relieved to see him coming home. I know if there is a problem, he'll fix it and make everything okay again. Everything is always fine. I just feel better when he's home. Joe and I run over to greet him while Mom walks to join us at the pickup door. Tonight, instead of us all going into the house, they walk over to the gator and call for me. "Get in the back, Joe," Mom tells him as she lifts him into the front seat. "Jump in, Molly," she added as I stood waiting my turn. I jump over Mom's feet, between the seats, and then into the back by Joe. I turn around so I can look over Mom's shoulder to see where we're going. Dad starts the motor and the machine starts shaking, and off we go. "Sit down, Molly." Joe grabs me and forces me to stay by him. "I don't want you to fall out." I sat down by him and look at his face, and he is looking at me. Our noses bump, because just then Dad gunned the motor, and we hop over a big tree root lying above the ground. I know what we're doing. We're going to do something with the boxes Dad has put along the gator trail. We stop and go quite a few times while Dad works by the boxes. It takes a long time to do this, and finally, when it is time to head back to the house, it's getting dark, so we have to use the headlights of the machine to see the trail. I like coming home to the house when it is dark. Mom has left the lights on, so it is bright and makes me feel welcome when we get home. It's also my supper time. I get to eat before my humans do because my food is really easy to give to me. Joe pours it out of a big bag into my dish and gives me fresh cold water. For his food, Mom has to work by the stove, and then my family sits down at the table. But not tonight. Joe, Dad, and I are looking at the little TV screen to see images that are in the cards Dad changed on the boxes on the trails. This is exciting when my guys do this, so I sit by them on the floor to watch the screen too. Sometimes I recognize what is being shown. I can recognize a deer, a rabbit, and a squirrel. One picture was a cat of some kind. Dad got excited when he saw the cat. He called Mom and they talked about a bobcat, needing to watch out for the chickens. I didn't understand all they said because they were using new words I didn't know, but I did understand they were concerned about something hurting the chickens. Safety was my job, so I tried to pay attention to understand better what was going on, even though it involves the chickens. I know, I have to do the best I can to keep them safe too. A little later, a different animal showed up on the screen. A strange dog was in our woods. Dad and Joe started to discuss it and called Mom back over. This animal looked like a dog bigger than me. I could understand enough as he talked to Joe and Mom. Dad called it a coyote. After my family got done eating, we all went outside to relax together and listen to the night sounds. Mom and Dad were sitting in chairs on the lawn, and Joe was in a hammock near them. I lay under the hammock, looking into the darkness, watching for any danger. We were all just relaxing, listening to the night sounds before it was time to go in to sleep. The stars were out, and I could see fireflies start flashing along the edge of the lawn where it meets the woods. Way off in the distance, I heard a new sound. It was faint at first, and then grew louder as it quickly came over the hill toward my lawn. The sound was moving very quickly. It was a frightening sound and made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Dad hushed everyone from their quiet talking and told us to listen. It was a very scary sound, so Joe got up out of his hammock and went over to stand by Dad's chair. I followed him and sat down and listened too. It was a scream, a howl, a yell. I don't know how to describe it, but there were many different voices. They were coming closer, and it sounded like they were just over the little hill next to our lawn, deep in the woods. Then the howling stopped. We listened for a while, but we didn't hear it again. Presently, Mom stood up and headed for the door. "Come on, Joe, it's bedtime for you." I started to follow them, and Dad called me back. "Molly, come with me. We should go check on the cow and shut her in for the night, just to be safe." We stopped at the truck and got a flashlight and continued to the barn. I kept a constant lookout, but couldn't hear, smell, or see anything that shouldn't be around. We were fine, and when we checked on the barn, the cow and little cow, the cat and the kittens, they were fine too. We shut the door and headed back to the house. I'm not a big dog, so I'm pretty concerned about if I were ever to meet them. I know this would be a dangerous situation to be in, meeting with the coyotes. I know if they were to ever try to harm my family, I would have to do something. I'm not sure what I would do. I think deep in my heart, I know what I would do if I had to. I just hope I never have to find out, because I don't know how to fight. I don't even know how to fight a chicken. I hope I never have to find out what I would do. I am afraid. I think and worry as Dad and I walk back to the house. When we got to the house, Dad left me outside for a little while so I can be ready to settle down when we are in bed. I'm out alone, so I try not to take too long and stay close to the house until I'm ready to go inside. I don't like to be outside very much in the dark now that we have heard the coyotes howling. They howled so loud, and there are lots of different voices. The picture on the screen, and now really hearing them in the dark in my woods, has made me very afraid. I think about what the neighbor dog told me about the strange scent, so I think this may be the scent the old dog stumbled across. I wonder how long coyotes have been around, and I have not been aware of it. What would I do if we were to meet, and there is more than one? Could I be brave and protect my home against one? What would I do if I ran into more than one? I'm very afraid as I lay in the room with the soft floor and the big windows to watch the night before going in to lay by Joe. I lay and look out into the dark beyond the windows and wonder if the coyotes are out there looking at me. It makes me scared to think that. They could be right this very minute, be sitting in the snow, under a tree at the edge of my woods, watching me. Thank you for watching. If you like this chapter, please subscribe, click the notification bell, and you'll be notified for the next chapter. Have a good afternoon. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye.